This is also draft related. I saw this tweet from Adam Schefter recently. This is actually came from an hour ago this morning, and he pointed out there's never been an NFL draft with more than 19 offensive players picked in the first round. That happened 3 times. The most recent time where they had 19 players drafted in the first round was 2009. My prediction is this draft will definitely have more than 19 players drafted in the first round. It'll break the record. And the reason it'll break the record is mostly because the offensive line. I was just looking at the Circa Sports over-under lines on draft position, but they also have over-unders on the number of total position players that'll be drafted in the first round at specific positions. So at cornerback, they have the number set at 5.5 corners drafted in the first round. The quarterbacks, they have 4.5. Wide receivers, 6.5. And honestly, I'll take the over on the wide receivers. Quarterbacks, that one's tough. Because I'm not sure if Michael Penix and Bo Nix will either be drafted in the first round. But right now, honestly, I'll take the over there too. And I'll take the cornerbacks. I'm not sure about taking the over there just because I think ultimately you'll hit the over on O linemen because they have the O lineman over under in terms of O linemen drafted in the first round at 9.5. I think you'll hit the over there. I think you'll hit the over on wide receivers at 6.5. So you'll have 7 wide receivers, in my opinion. You're gonna have 10 offensive linemen. Nate Tice of Established the Run. He was talking about his mock drafts, and he thinks that Circa's right. There will be over 9.5 offensive linemen drafted. Booger McFarland was doing his mock draft recently with Mina Kimes, and he said he had 10 O-linemen in his mock draft. The most O-linemen taken in the first round of the NFL draft in the history of it was 10 in 1968. Long time ago, playing a whole different style of football. I think you will break that record, or at least you'll tie that record in 1968. So let's say you have 10 offensive linemen taken in the first round. Let's say you have 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, 7 wide receivers. Guys, you're at 22 right there. Let's say there's only 4 quarterbacks taken. So I don't think there. You're still at 21 offensive players taken in the first round. You are definitely going to break the record of the record of offensive players being drafted first round. There is no question in my mind, Patrick.
Yeah,
it's happening this year.
It seems to be that way, and we also know that that's how trends work in the draft. Anyway, is normally if if there's a run on offensive linemen, there's going to be a run on offensive linemen. If there's a run on wide receivers, there's going to be a run on them, and it just feels like the runners are going to happen all offensive players. There's normally a run on edges or a run on DBs as well in the first round. It doesn't feel like there's going to be a run on any of those in the first round. So that means day 2 will probably start off with plenty of defense. But yeah, it appears to be that way, that there is going to be a ton of offense in this first round.
Yeah, I'm going to predict 21 offensive players taken in the first round. You could have as many as 22 if they end up getting 5 quarterbacks in the first round. I think it'll be that deep. And this will be good, by the way. This is good for Christian Jones. This is good for Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell because it'll push those guys up even higher because you have a lot of offensive players that will be taken on the board. So there you go. That is the Raj Rand of the day. My prediction, Black Shirt prediction, they will break the all-time record for offensive players drafted in the first round. All right. My man Patrick found this sound, so I'm excited to hear it because I actually haven't heard it yet. So I'll let you set it up, Patrick. But it's Will Anderson, I believe, right?
Yes, it's Will Anderson. I believe this was at the voluntary workouts and the team starting to get back together. And I believe the question's in here, but he's basically being asked about, if during free agency he felt that there was more players that wanted to come to Houston and be a part of this Texans team. Here's Will Anderson.
Guys coming up to you and saying it looks like you have something special there. Did you see that carry over in the free agency? Like, was anybody reaching out to you being like, hey, I want to be there?
Yeah, it was a lot at the Pro Bowl, man. It was a lot of guys like, yeah, tell them I'm trying to come over there. Like, tell them, Miko, I'm loving the saying, but I'm like, Texas ain't for everybody, man. It's just it's a different type of DNA you have to play here, man. It's a different type of character you have to have. And you just got to love football, man. And I think, the front office and coach, they do a really good job of choosing the guys that they want to be in here that, can help change the culture and help keep uplifting the culture and, being a positive.
Yeah. Right now it's hard to think, and I don't want to jinx it, but the Texans have become one of the it teams. Everybody's saying they're winning. They won this offseason with the moves that they made, the acquisition of Daniil Hunter and Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. People said they won the offseason, and now you got players like Saquon Barkley, who mentioned this, that Texans were at the top of his list when he became a free agent. The Eagles just paid more money, made a better deal. And now you got guys like Will Anderson saying when he was at the Pro Bowl, he had players coming up to him saying, hey, man, I want to come play for the Texans. And you've remarked about this too, Patrick, that, there's a player-friendly culture maybe developing with the Texans, maybe because of DeMeco Ryans, a former player himself, becoming a head coach, where, Nick Caserio, and I love Nick Caserio, Cook Caserio, making a lot of great deals, but he's also given some players, I think, their opportunity to maximize their value. A Joe Mixon, brought Joe Mixon in, and then didn't have to give him a new deal, gave him a new deal. Dalton Schultz brought him in a one-year prove-it deal, and ended up signing him to a long-term extension after he did prove himself with the Texans. We just talked about the Stephon Diggs deal. Did he have to void the last 3 years of his deal to help him become a free agent? No, but that's a player-friendly move there, and maybe that also has something to do with players wanting to become Houston Texans.
Yeah, and I really like that Will Anderson also put in there about, well, it's hard to be a Texas, it's hard to be here at Texas. And I believe there's part of it where they're trying to change the culture to, it's a privilege to be playing for the Houston Texans. We are going to be the best team, and it's a privilege to be here. Not, hey man, we all want to come have this party and play around these great players, but this is something special. You guys, if you want to be here, we're going to work harder than everybody else, and that's going to make us better. That's the type of thing you want one of your leaders to be saying.
Yeah, no question, man. It's just a weird place to be where the Super Bowl odds have the Texans with the third best odds to make it to win the Super Bowl, and everybody's saying the Texans won the offseason, and now players want to play for the Texans.
I mean, you look at that quote. He says, he goes, at the Pro Bowl. You a year ago, you wouldn't even thought we had anybody there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and now players want to come play for the Texans. Man, it's amazing how quickly the narrative can shift. But it certainly has down there in